Hi guys, hope you're well. First time I've ever created a skull sort of look. Pretty happy with it considering it's my first attempt, but I thought I'd share it with you guys. Yeah, the teeth were the hardest part. It's kind of like a melted glam look, so kind of like melting away the glam of it all and then revealing the skull. I was supposed to get flesh coloured latex but couldn't find it. Couldn't find it in my skin tone, so I haven't actually incorporated that. So I started off with my eyebrows. Now I know they're pretty full, but I just wanted them to look even more sharp and fuller. So I used Thunder by Illamasqua and just filled in the gaps. Now using my Shape Tape, I'm just going to cover my whole eyelid up to my brow area and then pat it down with a flat shader brush just because I want it to be nice and even. And because I needed it to look super sharp, I used a lip liner brush underneath my brows just to make it nice and crisp and patting that down so it's all blended in beautifully. I'm blending it out with a blending brush. Now using a smaller blending brush, I am going to go in with burnt orange and cut my crease and then blend it out with a bigger blending brush. And using a pencil brush, I'm going to go in with warm taupe, both colours by Anastasia Beverly Hills, and making it more defined. Now using a liquid liner, this one's from NYX, I'm going to create a wing, and just below where I put my warm taupe, I'm going to use a black eyeshadow using a precise brush just to make a bit more of a defined line and blending that out before I put my lashes on, which are the number 10 by Tatti Lashes. Now using this double-sided jumbo pen by Maybelline, I'm going to start etching out where I want my drip to be. Now you can see I will go back over it again because I'm not quite happy with where it kind of drips, but it is kind of like trial and error really. Now filling in the area that's going to be the glam area, I'm just using my True Match foundation by L'Oreal and patting that in, making it nice and flawless. And now going back in with the Shape Tape to conceal. Now using my Smashbox liner, I'm going to tightline my upper and lower lash line before I move on to actually just smoothing out and blending it out underneath. Now using that jumbo pencil again, I'm just still outlining where I want my drip to be before I go in with a grey based face paint, because what I wanted to do is make it easier for me to blend out when I do the black. The black always goes into the highest points just because it makes it a lot easier for you to blend it out like that. Using your fingers is so much more easier to blend out, guys, so use a brush but blend out with the actual finger if you need to. You'll notice is that I actually do go back and forth between the pencils and the paints just to define the lines, so making sure that it actually looks really blended and as real as possible, and just using different types of brushes, so some are a lot thinner, some are a lot thicker, just to be able to get that sort of definition that I really want. So I go back and forth into the grey and then the black and then just start fading it in together. Now I'm going to be using a very, very flat and small brush, which I'm going to put the black paint on just to start making marks around the nose area and where my glam area is. So it kind of shows that the skin's kind of like coming away, but not too much. And you can see how pleased I am with myself with it. Now moving on to my forehead area, I'm redrawing where I wanted my drip to be and then just start blending it out. And I work on my eye now because I really want that to be as black as possible and start defining where I actually want my socket area to be. So my almost like a skull zombie sort of look. Using a white paint, I'm now going to start filling in all that area that is still empty and just start etching out where I'll actually have the hollows in my cheeks and in the temples of my head, and going back in with the black paint to start filling that in. What you will notice with this is there is a lot of back and forthness just because you have to wait for certain paints to dry. And now I'm going to just start filling in my jawline area, just so you can see where it's going to be all nice and white, and then start filling in and defining the hollow of my cheek and blending that out with my finger and trying to make that look as faded as possible before I start moving on to the hardest part, which is the teeth. And I kid you not, it was really, really difficult to do the teeth, but it's a lot of fun. So you just go back and forth into the different details of the face to actually get the right sort of blend throughout the whole face. So as you can see, I've gone back to the other side of my face just to make sure I'm going to get that nice white fade going through it, and then just blending it out. Now I'm drawing the teeth and I'm following my own teeth. However, because my lower lip's quite full compared to my upper lip, it's really difficult to get it to actually become as teeth-like as you would like. But just work at it. It is quite fun when you don't get stressed out about it. And then I just fill in the inner part of my lip just to make it look a little bit more hollow and just create those teeth. At this point, I will say I've lost the will to live because it's taken so long. It's so hard to do teeth. It is so hard to do teeth. I'm just gonna do whatever I can do. I've never done teeth before, and this is hard. So once I've done all that, I'm actually going to just fade out any areas that I need to concentrate on and then fill in any gaps that I've got. So just near my jawline, just here. And then just because I've got darker skin tone, I want the white areas to pop. So what would be the highest areas of my face, I'm going to make them look slightly more brighter and concentrate on fading out any areas that I need to just fade out using a grey brush and a black brush. And now I'm just going to focus on my eye and just create that fade that would go underneath my eye socket area and just fill in any gaps. So here I'm actually doing the reverse, where I'm adding the white, then adding the grey, then adding the black again to fade it out a bit more, and then touching up with a bit of the white. You'll kind of notice building up like this actually does really make it really quite effective. I will be going back in with my black pencil just because it just helps when you're doing your nose area to blend it out and actually create that fade that you need. Now using a pencil brush, I'm going back into that warm taupe colour and creating almost like a crevice sort of look around the eye area and blending it out with the pencil. Now when I started that, I realized that I didn't do my jaw properly, so I went back in with the black just to create that outlined jaw look that I needed. So just checking up on that, and now going back in with that taupe color and creating that sort of hollowing effect, 3D effect that you want. This is the fun part because you can really play with this. So you really need to enhance around the eye area, the cheeks, the jawline, and anywhere that you think that obviously it would be quite three-dimensional. So I go back and forth in between the taupe on the pencil and then blending it out with a blending brush. Now using that same taupe color, I'm actually creating that fade that you would probably get if your skin was getting pulled away from the rest of your skull. So I'm actually putting that onto my skin and just blending it out and going back and forth onto the skull area as well as the glam area just to blend it out and just make it look as real as possible. And getting it really into those areas that are actually melting away. So now it's just the finishing touches, so going back and forth into my grey colour, my black, my taupe colour, blending out with my fingers and the brushes and just blending out where it would be on my skin. Again, using a blending brush is really, really good just to make it more seamless. And that's it guys, hope you enjoyed this video, and if you want to recreate this, do tag me in it, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care, bye.